Charles, it's not quite as nice today as it has been the past few days, but I think the sun is coming out and, you know, people know that you will be relocating out of New York, so I think we want to take advantage of these nice weather days as much as we can. We've got the Repoop Man.
Yeah, I can smell it.
There's not so bad up here.
He's bringing poop everywhere, that guy.
Well, this is art, not poop.
I'd pay nothing for that.
It's creepy as hell, isn't it?
Well, we'll see who it's by. Julia Cinci, Secondary Forest.
Yeah, well...
You could just imagine her pitching it to her either patron or if she's a student or whatever. I'm going to do this, and everyone has to go because it's Julia Cinci. That's a Cinci?
Who's ever heard of that person?
I don't know, but I'm, you know, I want to have cappuccino with you. That shit's crap.
Speaking of crap, Charles, there's a lot of rumors. I don't know that this has been actually verified, but people were speculating that perhaps Joe Biden was experiencing some sort of incontinental divide.
Crapulence? I'm glad you brought that up.
Incontinental divide.
Right, exactly, right. Also known as crapulence as opposed to flatulence. But when I was working for the Washington Times writing opinion pieces, I did a piece about Ronald Reagan's 1984 Pointe de Hoc speech, which is available online. You can watch.
What is that speech? Pointe de Hoc?
Pointe de Hoc. That's that's one of the landing sites of the Normandy invasion.
Oh, right.
And
where he's standing there.
It's about 20 minutes or so, the full speech. And it's on. I think you access the best version is the one that's from the presidential library, the Reagan Presidential Library. It's all online.
One thing, didn't he invite Gorbachev to that?
He might have. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure Gorbachev is there, hanging out with all the people.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
I think so. Thatcher.
Because the thing about D-Day is that in that moment, we were with the Soviets against Hitler, and the Soviets suffered quite a few losses, multiples of the losses that we suffered. And so there was a period during which we did invite representatives of the Russian Federation. But going back to '84, Ronald Reagan, you could dismiss him for Bedtime with Bonzo and some of his stupid movies, but he was a decent actor, and he was also the spokesperson for a firm that I hope will never actually fully come back to life, General Electric. And he was governor of California for multiple terms and tackled some tough issues, both as president and as governor. But
that's the famous picture.
Oh yeah, was that Gorbachev?
I don't know. I think maybe.
Okay.
Anyway,
so
he was also the president of the Screen Actors Guild. Did you know that?
I did. So if you and he was in several films with my parents' friend, next door neighbor. Anyway, the thing of it is, people deride his intellect, and they look back at him and say that during his second term he had Alzheimer's or dementia or whatever. But you go into '84 when he was still in his first term, and you watch that speech, and if you're not impressed, frankly, at the substance and delivery of what that man said, then you're a moron. Because to get up at a time where we were in the middle of, we were locked, really it was the height of the Cold War, where there was still real fear that we would get into nuclear H-bomb exchange with the Soviet Union, and we were losing around the world thanks to Carter and the Democrats and others. He gets up there and he gives a speech wherein there were a bunch of the survivors of D-Day in front of him, including their wives.
Right.
And it was a speech in honor not only of them and of their comrades, but of their fallen comrades and the people who supported the Allies in the efforts to tear Europe away from the thrall of Hitler. Which, I mean, you could say what you want about different bad actors in the world, but Hitler was an evil human being.
I'll say.
And, shame, by the way, on that wicked witch, and I would use the C word, but I'm not going to do it in the free.
I'm sure I'll do that later.
Okay, who actually likened, in her response to Biden's plagiarized version of the Reagan speech, we'll get to that in a second, was to say that in 1944 and 45, you had to fight to stop Hitler. In 2024, all you have to do is vote, i.e.
terrible,
suggesting that Donald Trump is Hitler.
Ridiculous.
So going back to the speech, I really, if you have nothing else to do and you have some time, go and watch the speech. It's really amazing. The unvarnished, uninterrupted by commercial version of the speech.
Of Reagan.
Of Reagan, yes, the delivery. Do that first. And then watch Biden scream and hush fest. It's disgusting. I think he lifted language from the Reagan speech.
Did he?
Yeah, and he also shouted at the crowd. And, you know, this guy is pathetic. I mean, Methuselah, we haven't seen Methuselah. He's probably
he might be dead.
He's probably channeling Biden.
Who also might be dead.
That's true.
Just, Charles, in that quick search there while you were explaining that to all of us, I wasn't able to definitively determine if Gorbachev was there, but that was the speech where Reagan said, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall."
No. That was in 19.
Okay, well, but the thing that I was able to glean, just sort of quickly reading articles, walking down the street here, was that it said that Reagan's personal friendship with Gorbachev was an important factor in ending the Cold War. And obviously, rather than taking a page out of what is arguably a diplomatic success, at least from the standpoint of the United States, Joe Biden is making sure that he's an enemy of Putin.
Well, Putin and the Russian people, and here we are. Now, one thing, speaking of that, we can, I guess, speak now in the YouTube section. The thing that I remember distinctly, and when I was in high school, I feared fighting in the Vietnam War. It was pitched to me that I'd be in the jungle, or not a jungle dude.
Sounds good, yeah.
No, I mean, forgetting about the snakes and the insects and all that, you can't see the enemy.
And there's heroin all around, you're likely to die.
Right, it didn't sound great.
Even if there weren't people shooting at you, it's pretty dangerous to go there.
So, and then I remember people after Vietnam saying, we got to remember the lessons of Vietnam, mission creep,
no, they
clear
forgot
objectives.
All of that.
So in the beginning, this response to the Russian, really the response to the Russian response to our aggressive eastward moves, starting under Clinton. You know, when H.W. Bush promised Gorbachev, we're not going to head east, and then, and Clinton said, oh no, fuck that, we'll just do whatever we want.
And Putin has reiterated that fact.
Many times. So we could say it's really our response to Putin's response to the West's aggressive eastward expansion. Initially was sold to us as this is a defensive operation which will occur solely within Ukraine's...
NATO, you mean? Oh no, this
yes,
thing.
this will occur solely within Ukraine's borders. And now, overnight, we're learning that not only have there been several knockouts of early warning systems deep inside
radar
Russia that would make it more difficult for Russia to understand whether or not there's incoming, which will make them more trigger happy. Now we discover that it's possible a drone or some other mechanism may have taken out a Russian supersonic fighter.
Su-57, their newest 4.5 generation.
Right, inside Russian territory. At the same time, we've got a Russian fleet steaming towards Cuba.
I thought they're there already.
Cuba, as Kennedy would say, down there in Cuba. But so I also remember in 15 and 16, the mantra against Trump is, well, he's a volatile businessman, crazy man, he's going to bring us to World War III.
Right.
We are very close, if not past.
In it already.
Where we were with the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yeah.
We're very close because back in 63, was it 63 or 62, whenever it was?
61 or 2, because he was killed in 63.
But it was around that time. But anyway, in that area, the United States did not have a lot of debt, whether on the government or on other strands of our important economy. We just weren't that much in debt.
And people weren't using credit cards like they do today.
Not at all. And in addition, you can go whatever way you want. In addition...
No, they took away that big thing that had newspapers on it.
Okay. And they... so we didn't have that much debt. And most of the advanced world had been destroyed in World War II. We weren't. So Europe was rebuilding, Japan was rebuilding, India was a joke, China was a joke. We were on top of the world. And we came very close to actually, who knows what would have happened had tempers flared and had the wrong instincts been followed. So now we're in a different place where we're heavily in debt, the world's heavily in debt, the system is not working properly, people are itchy, they've got itchy trigger fingers.
Speaking of itchy trigger fingers, there's another story along the lines of what you're describing. There's a movie made by a guy who I knew in LA who was involved in a project that sort of stole our technology. But after I reconciled with this guy, he produced a movie that I went to see called The Man Who Saved the World or something like that, which was an interview and a documentary about this Russian retired, some kind of, not a general, but a high-ranking guy who was working in a Russian launch site. And everybody, they had all this, some sort of, sun flare anomaly created some sort of indicator on whatever radar system they were looking at that said that there had been a launch, and it was all about them calculating the counter launch. But this guy refused to push the button until they got their final thing, which was from a ground-based radar station. And in this movie, obviously I know nothing about radar, but in this movie
That's it. Sole reason we're collaborating, that you're a radar expert.
Yeah. In this movie, they made a point of saying that this ground-based radar, this guy waited because something about it was more accurate than these other satellite systems, that it wasn't susceptible to this type of interference. And now it seems, from what I've read about it, what they've destroyed is this exact type of radar system that's intended to give them the most accurate picture of a false launch.
Right.
So now it's more likely that there'll be a retaliation when there's not a launch.
Right. So remember, I was trying to remember what kind of watch I got. What is that?
Piaget.
See if they have it.
See, it's interesting, Charles, because when I was looking at this video about Hudson Yards and the creation of this place, how they pitched the city on doing it, they said that there was going to be, whoops, oh, I just crashed into the glass. That's,
Let's go around the other side. I just want to see if I can find the watch this way.
They said that there was going to be a low-income housing component that was equal in size to this, and that part of the sales pitch was sort of what got them the permission and the tax benefits to do all this. And they were even saying, like, oh, there's going to be shopping mall and this and that. But, where is the Foot Locker? Where is the, the kind of store that the average person would go to in the mall versus this is all Van Cleef and Arpels and billionaire, buy something for your wife. There's no store in here that I don't even think I could afford anything in.
Oh, come on now.
Look at this. Cartier, okay, Rolex, Bulgari, Van Cleef and Arpels, Piaget. This is every single one of these things is a crazy billionaire. Tiffany. But look, nobody is shopping in here, right? You go to the regular mall and they've got...
Nobody's shopping there either.
Well, but they've got Banana Republic and, that would be an appropriate store.
That's the United States.
I can't even think of the brands, but you know what I mean. Like Levi's and crap
Forever
that regular...
21. There's H&M.
Oh, you're right, there is. Huh. But nobody is even walking up there.
You want to go up and see what else is there?
Sure. I mean, my point is, nobody is in this mall. I don't understand who's buying anything here.
Nobody's buying anything. That's the message of Bidenomics. Much easier to steal.
And then the other thing is, they're now sort of secretly letting it out that so many hotels have been
filled
taken
with
over.
Homeless.
Well, right, and now what it's doing is driving up the cost of all hotels, keeping out tourists, affecting other industries, because some hotels, they're saying, are completely filled with migrants, and that the hotels like it better because they're charging more, and they're no longer bound by the whole, they had to lower the prices when there was less demand. It's driving demand. So there's sort of this hotel problem developing now. And look, there should be tourists here shopping.
You don't think this is crowded?
I mean, it's Sunday afternoon in the summer. You would think there would be, if you went to Vegas right now, people would be swarming a shopping mall like this.
Maybe the ground floors are the expensive and then the upper floors are less. I see Zara is up on 3.
I just don't think anybody comes into this mall.
Oh, I think you're right. Very few people. To shop, anyway.
Right.
They might come in here like we are.
If
I owned this building, I'd be pissed.
Well, I mean, that's just it. They sort of made this thing all opened in 2019, I think.
Good timing.
So, right, immediately before.
Nice. Now, when I think of Blue Bottle, I think of Fly.
With its coffee.
Isn't it like the Blue Bottle Fly, which is one of the most annoying flies out there?
I never heard of that.
It's really persistent.
There's
Yeah, this
apparently-
is. I think you get up to the next level and you get the crap.
But there's still nobody shopping
This
here.
is crappy clothes, right?
I don't know.
This is where you know if you have somebody Levi's. I mean, if you,
They do have Levi's. All right, well, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there is something of a
yeah,
regular
up
mall.
on the second floor where
hidden
nobody
in
bothers to come, the Bronx Brewery.
I guess maybe I should come to this mall and buy something, but it's probably still very expensive.
I'm sure it is.
What do they
Jason, you need to spread the wealth, man.
say? Yeah.
Denim for life. You know, when I was a kid, I liked denim, but I stopped wearing blue jeans. Certainly not blue jeans with holes in the knees. I mean, come on, man. It's called a rag. Why do you want to wear a rag?
I guess there are some regular stores here, but yeah,
On the
they've got
second
them
floor.
hidden.
What's this place? Made well.
I never
Give
heard
Dad
of that.
jeans. No, thank you. Yeah, this
mean,
is
I've
all.
never heard of
This
this.
is all like. I'm no shopping expert, but this is all so Ray-Bans.
Okay.
That's where Joe gets his Ray-Bans.
So then the other part of the question is, what the hell do we need a shopping mall like this for in the middle of New York City?
Well, bigger question, Jason. Why do we need New York City?
Yeah. And I mean, the lack of shoppers kind of answers the question. You don't.
Right.
There's Keels. Look, see everything up on the third level, they can't even rent. Because everybody here on the second level realizes
Kiehl's is expensive.
nobody's even coming up here.
Yeah. Uniqlo. I was watching the French Open is on, and this Polish woman who's only 23 has now won the women's singles 4 times in a row.
Wow.
Which is amazing. So they had some clips of Roger Federer who cut a big deal with Uniqlo. Make a lot of money. That's super expensive ice cream.
That's true.
Here we go.
That's the ice cream that what's her name had in the freezer, I think. Oh, the Fuck
The
You
idiot.
restaurant? I bet you a lot of people eat there. Like, hey, fuck you.
It's Japanese sushi. What is
That's
that?
crazy
Fuck
that they
you,
would
chicken.
name it that. Oh my God.
That's like the melon bank or the tomato bank.
Welcome to Fuck You.
Let's go up one more.
That's hilarious.
All kinds of marketing went into that.
Where is the other escalator? Here we go.
This is Hillary's the celebrity spokesperson for this.
But I
She
mean,
hopes.
shouldn't this be a ground level thing so that your dog can walk in there? And oh,
Boom.
look, it's like a Ben Whitty's T-shirt, Charles. Did you know that he is wearing a different dog T-shirt apparently every day?
No, I didn't.
It's weird, right? Charles,
This way.
100,000 people have now seen the Twitter coup article.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
good, pretty
since I
good.
posted it on
Twitter?
Twitter X, yeah, Twitter. If you pay them $14 a month, you get to publish like it's
That's pretty cool. I should do that.
Substack. But it also made me realize how stupid Matt Taibbi is if that story is remotely true. I think what's more likely is
Which story? His story?
the
Your
whole story of him, you know, being
Oh, falling out with.
given the Twitter files and then having the falling out with Elon Musk. It just seems like part of this whole fantasy where they're convincing us that, you know, the Trojan horse of Twitter is safe for us once again. You should get one of these, Charles, although I'm not really a big fan of
that's it.
8-cylinder turbocharged Ferraris, but that is the legendary F40.
Yeah, the thing is, you know, where I'm going to live, either in Indonesia or Malaysia, you could drive a car maybe on the highway. You could drive it maybe 70 miles an hour.
Well, but you could get one of those apartments with an ensuite garage and just drive it around the apartment.
No, thank you. Not at 70 miles an hour, I couldn't.
Build a track in there.
Actually, they have a track on the island that I'm looking at down in Indonesia. They have a Formula whatever track, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're not talking me out of this.
I know I'll never talk you out of that.
Charles, you should buy an F40. It's a great idea.
Yeah, why not like, you know, Airbus?
So now here's Lululemon. So I guess there are some kind of regular
Crappy
stores here, but
they're equally empty.
yeah, it's empty. And what is this? Adidas?
Race faster. Well, I think the problem is that the Amazon model
Yeah.
has gutted the traditional
Right.
store model, and the fact that and I don't buy from Amazon. I don't like the place, but I don't buy much in the way of consumer items anyway. But look at this. This is. I mean, if I owned this place, I'd be crying.
Of course. I
I
mean,
mean, the rent alone.
it's got to be $100,000 a month or more.
Yeah, the rent per hour of being open, and you know,
Right.
what's the margin for the store on a bra? I mean, or what do you
It
call
just
those
doesn't
things?
make any sense to me at all.
Calzedonia,
Is that a place just selling calzones?
whatever it is, I don't know. But this is very, very reminiscent of the high-end malls in Asia that I visited.
Exactly.
But those are thronged. Actually, what the high-end malls in Asia do that's quite interesting is in the basement they have food courts, and they also have like traditional sort of stalls with knickknacks and stuff like that.
the
So-
calzone
I don't
zone?
know. I guess here it is, Italian legwear.
Oh, they don't even have
beachwear.
calzones.
So that piece of nothing is probably $250 or more.
That's Kendall Jenner.
Oh yeah,
Does she own
is
that?
she a billionaire?
I believe she is. Every single place is super empty. It's just ridiculous.
This is Bidenomics.
I think this
the
has
floors
been
are shiny.
empty from the moment it's open because
You know, I'm actually amazed that there aren't more homeless people in here.
I just think they kick them out immediately. I'm pretty sure that's the Little Mermaid that everybody got pissed off about.
Should we go down on the escalator? Or?
Sure. We're getting close to the end of our intro segment here, Charles. We'll be back outside and talking about lots of other stuff. There's a lot of things that we need to discuss today about this Repoop Man. I don't know that we actually have confirmation of defecation, but he did
Defecation
leave
confirmation.
early,
Yeah.
and it was an incontinental.
It's just disgraceful. And actually, you see this stuff about the 4 hostages rescued?
Yeah.
Including this is nice.
Well, what is
Well,
this?
the massage place, the pedicure place is hopping.
Holy cow!
That's it. You see that funny Facebook reel? You have boyfriend?
I did not see
Oh,
that.
it's very funny where they go back and forth on somebody trying to sell somebody on a manicure and a pedicure. It's really funny.
If this wasn't, oh wait, there's
Black
another
Widow Jam.
floor up.
We can
Let's
go up,
just
sure,
continue the investigation. I think if it wasn't for the 2 people working in each store, there, and you and I, there'd be virtually nobody in here.
Right. But anyway, back on the hostage rescue
Yeah.
in Gaza, Kamala Harris decried the rescue.
What?
Yes. She
What
said
did she
because
say?
too many innocent Palestinians were killed. And it appears that one of the hostages was held in an Al Jazeera reporter's apartment.
What?
And that person was killed, which I think
Good.
Good, yeah. Kamala Harris.
You cannot get involved in taking hostages. That's
Right. And this used to be in the Village, Lilac Chocolates is where it started. This must be like if you're gonna
I mean,
ask your husband or partner to go shopping, you have to give him something at the end. This stuff, yeah.
is the store usually pretty busy? Miss? Is the store usually pretty busy? Usually busy?
Thanks. Yeah,
I
she's
don't
too
think
busy.
that's correct.
She's too busy catering to her customers. Yeah, this was founded in '23, but it was down in the Village. And I don't think it's the oldest chocolate house either, but they say it is.
Manhattan's oldest chocolate house. Well, I guess these people are buying chocolate.
Oh, we don't want to go in there. That's the edge. That's that thing where you stand on the edge.
I didn't realize this was how you get to that. What's this? We have a restaurant here.
Expensive.
Queen's Yard. I didn't even know that was there. Do you want a sheep for lunch?
Is it cheap, Jason?
I don't think it's cheap. I think they're serving sheep.
How much is it? Steaks.
Steaks and chops. $65 for an 8-ounce filet mignon. Not
With
as
nothing.
much as Charlie Palmer in D.C. but
With no
that's a lot.
sides, probably.
And they
But
have-
that's at lunch. Look at dinner.
right. Steaks and chops. 8-ounce filet mignon, still $65.
They
It's a-
say
it's a
it's
lot.
8 ounces, but it's a nice view.
Oh wow! Look at that. You get a view of the
Parking garage.
Well, that's the thing that people jump off of there.
Let's see.
The
The life shortener.
what is it called again? The
I don't know. Can we just go back down that way?
sure.
I mean, it's a nice enough space, but I mean, to make money, you'd have to charge admission.
For this mall.
Right. I mean, no store is making money.
I don't think so.
Because, with Tiffany's and Piaget and all those other stores, they have stores on Fifth Avenue.
Yeah, and here Zara is over there, so I guess.
Zara's it's cheap stuff, isn't it?
But no one is going to it, so.
It's down here.
Yeah.
I think yeah. Anyway. So the owners of that chain are multi-billionaires.
Well, maybe they
Not
can.
because of this place.
Right. Maybe they can afford to lose money and have some.
But
kind
nice gray floors.
of advertisement. Oh, I see. So that takes up the whole top floor. So this is like the anchor store of the place, apparently.
Anchor being the operative good word.
Yeah. Dragging it down to the bottom of the ocean.
Down to the toilet bowl. We want to keep going down.
Yeah. After you, Charles.
So, no problem.
So yeah, so we'll just head out of this sort of ghost shopping mall
That's right.
and carry on in the First Amendment Forum once we're outside. I want to thank fantastic tip from a viewer this morning. I don't even want to say the amount. I was overwhelmed with the generosity. Thank you so much. People don't need to do that, but if it's within your financial, I don't want anybody to ever go broke supporting the show. That's why I've made it so economical to sponsor on Odyssey.com for only $3 a month. So thank you to that big tipper. I really appreciate it. Couldn't do this show without the individual sponsors like that. But check out Odyssey.com/@crowdsourcethetruth. Even if you join for free, it's the best way to keep up with legacy Crowdsource the Truth content. People can also go to crowdsourcethetruth.substack.com, and you can now read the Twitter coup on X, so follow me on X. But also thanks to all the sponsors on subscribestar.com and patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth. I almost forgot to mention, Charles, you are back on X, so
Yes.
people should definitely be following @Charles Ortel, totally free to follow Charles on X. And people can follow me @JG_CSTT. Maybe this lady's going to announce how to follow her. We can hear everything she's talking about.
No, she's just saying what she bought.
We'll be right back. Stay with